Engrossment Rules Resolution Credentials Committee meeting is called to order. Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Alderwoman Howard,
Present.
Alderman Ornowitz,
Here.
Alderwoman Green, Alderman Todd,
Here.
Chairwoman Tyus,
Present.
Alderwoman Green. You have 4 present.
Okay, I haven't heard from the vice chair, so I'm gonna wait and not do excused alderman till the end, since she gets here. We're gonna move on to the minutes of January 29th, 2020, which is so nice that the new clerk that we have now, almost been here for what, have been here a year yet, Matt? But he's doing a good job with this. I appreciate this. So if you all would take a minute, to look at the, minutes, do we have the handout? Okay, preliminary minutes, right. Okay, go over them, see if you have any questions. If not, I'm gonna approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Wait a minute, Sarah, he's still reading.
Oh, I'm done.
Oh, is everyone finished? Okay, I entertain a motion to pass the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Previous roll.
Can't do previous roll on, whenever we just had a roll call, then we have to have an actual
We have to have a
vote
vote.
on at least one subject before we can do previous roll, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right. Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Alderwoman Howard,
Aye.
Alderman Ornowitz,
Aye.
Alderman Todd,
Aye.
Chairwoman Tyus,
Aye.
Alderwoman Green. You have 4 aye votes.
By your vote, you've approved the minutes from January, when is it, 29th, 2020. Our next order of business, and our only order of business for board bills, is Board Bill number 192, introduced by Alderman Joseph Vollmer. He's amending a ground lease between the City of St. Louis and Lucas Hunt Associates LLP, a Missouri limited partnership for property and improvements commonly known as the Hampton Garden Apartments, located at 5927 Suson Place, St. Louis, Missouri, 63139. This is a 50-year lease. I have substantial questions about this bill, not into form, but as to content. Okay, exhibit B is here. Exhibit D is here. I wanna say on page 2, exhibit D, it's in the third paragraph, needs to be bolded. Page 3, exhibit B, fifth paragraph, subsection C.
Is that exhibit D?
The first one was exhibit D on
This
page 2.
exhibit E.
Exhibit B,
B.
right. Also on page 3, paragraph B, exhibit D. Right,
Needs both as well.
right. I'm still missing one. Let me see. Exhibit C, go to page 4. It's the first paragraph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th line down.
Oh, they did underline, Madam Chair, at least.
Yeah, but these eyes needed to be bold.
I hear
Cause at first I read through them and I didn't see any of them. And I don't see, does anybody see exhibit E's place in here?
Well, there's a page,
I know.
but I don't know if that is this on the back side, if that's exhibit E.
But I'm saying
The
in the
amendment to the ground
actual
lease?
board bill, is there a referral to exhibit E? I missed it.
I didn't, yeah.
Let's do it again.
And there would be mention of that on page 2, item L. And then I have another issue,
Okay, so wait a minute, page 2, item L.
talks about term of the ground lease. They mention ground lease as set forth herein.
Yes.
On page 5.
Wait, but let's try to stay, and then we'll go to yours in a minute.
Okay.
We wanna see, E should be someplace in here if it's a
It should be
memorandum amendment.
referenced, yeah.
Amendment to ground lease, exhibit E. Okay, this is it actually, but where is it referred to in the board bill so that we can incorporate it by reference? That's why whenever something is attached, how you make it part of the bill is if it's mentioned in the bill.
If I can
Yes, okay.
say something.
Sure,
The way they'd originally sent it,
okay,
this was all exhibit A.
okay,
And in exhibit A, you had inside of exhibit A, B, C, and D.
okay,
What we recommended is that they change it to attachment A.
right,
And these are the exhibits inside the attachment.
okay,
So
Okay.
attachment A is referenced in the bill,
right, I saw
but
that.
they do not reference the exhibits that are a part of this attachment in the bill.
But they do reference some exhibits because,
In the bill,
okay, yeah, this is
But
in the attachment.
it's in the attachment.
Yeah.
Right.
But not.
But where, even in the attachment, then where is it in, okay, so even in the attachment, I hear what you're saying. So then an attachment at least says, exhibit D.
Right.
So
You
where
find
is
it.
in the attachment, right, and I can find it, where in the attachment is it exhibit E
Right, now that-
reference?
I
That's,
don't- I'm
yeah,
not
okay.
speaking to that.
Yes, right, that's what I'm looking for, right. Even if it's not in the original bill.
They name it, but they don't.
I'm saying someplace it should be in here.
Uh-huh. I have another here,
This is actually.
On
it's
page
not-
2.
It's
line
not labeled.
on J, it says, lessee is willing to increase the yearly rent to $100,000, and then in parentheses, they have $165,000. That doesn't,
On page 1 or 2 of the board bill or
the attachment,
I think I've marked that too. I have lots
Yeah.
of questions, right.
I mean, it's inconsistent. If you're talking $100,000, it should be $100,000, not $165,000. Right after that. Under, page 2 of the attachment, J.
Same here. The current year,
right,
Right,
but it said it's willing to increase.
increase, right, right. The current, so they really only paying $100,000.
but then it says 165 in parentheses.
Exactly, that's
So
why I
that's-
have my,
yeah,
I already
it's
have that,
inconsistent,
right.
That's what I'm saying. you know,
Right,
it's like,
exactly.
That's not right.
Right. See, yeah, so the number and the writing doesn't, if you're gonna increase it, are you gonna increase it to $100,000 or one hundred
Well,
sixty-five
according to
thousand?
their
Right.
scale back here, it would be
This
165.
is not correct.
Right,
So I would say,
and right now the ground lease is only $100.
no deal.
And, oh, well, so, let's find this E, and then I have lots of questions about this bit. I wanna be one of their partners, okay?
Uh-huh.
It's gotta be E in here someplace, okay, and D. Come on, Larry, with those good eyes you have there, we're looking for exhibit E.
That's what I'm looking for.
Now, they have exhibit D.
I know, I found
Yeah,
D,
okay.
D,
All the way up to D. But I don't see an E.
I see C,
B, C, and D. But
exhibit E, memorandum amendment to ground lease, so where do they speak about memorandum? So let's go back and see if we can find where it should be. Okay.
This is the same.
Right, that's all the same thing, but I'm looking,
I think
so someplace in here though it should,
D is this document, but
Right.
there's no place that they actually mention D in the board bill. Or in the-
yeah, in the agreement,
or in the
it's on
attachment.
page 2, yeah, it is,
Yeah.
D,
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
On 3, I see exhibit, no, D, not E. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
D is mentioned a couple of times on page 2 and 3, down at the bottom.
Here, I do see it, line 5 under E, 5 under 7, page 5 of the attachment. Under 7, memorandum.
There it is, okay,
Okay.
that's it.
where's it at? Page 5?
I told you.
Number 7.
That's why we need bowls, right? Okay. All right, so that gets all the exhibits then, A, B, C, D, E are all mentioned. Right, needs to be bold. Okay, let's go over problems, cause I have plenty. But I wanna start with the committee first, cause mine are actually about the whole lease itself, which I'm really asking, is this a sale versus a lease? I really wanna hear what the city councilor, who did this and how they agree to this, but I wanna start first with Alderwoman Howard. You said you had some other questions, or did we address them?
The inconsistency in the.
Yeah, the 165.
165 or
Right.
100,000,
Right.
according to the rent thing, it's 165 and
Right.
then for 10 years.
Right.
That seems like a pretty good deal.
So how's 100,000 play?
Either one of them is still a good
What
deal.
I'm
Right.
amazed at is they
Yeah.
were paying $100 a year
Yeah.
all these years.
Okay, so we got that. Do you have
And
any?
now I know my mama paid a lot more rent than that for her little apartment.
We gotta go back 50 years and look it all up, who's on.
Okay, so that's part of my problem. Do you have any questions, Alderman?
I mean, just some crazy stuff.
I guess my question is, how did they arrive at the 165,000? Where did they come up with that for the rent? I mean, nobody's paying any taxes on this.
So here's,
My comment,
Alright,
it
okay,
belongs to the city, it used to be Potter's Field.
yes,
And I would have thought at some point we had more rent than that, and I just wonder how they came up with the $165,000.
so,
It'd be interesting how many apartments are on there. I know they
I
probably
think
get
there's pretty
$800-900.
There's pretty many
per apartment.
apartments over there, yeah.
Uh-huh. So, I mean, they've always been well maintained, it's a
Yeah.
nice complex, and And I give Draper and Kramer that they've maintained it and.
Yeah, you
They're good
could if
about-
you're only paying $100, huh?
Yeah, but there are people that wouldn't do that, yeah. You know?
Do you
So-
have any questions, Alderman? So I wanna start with questions I have. First of all, this ground lease was started in 1950,
50.
starting on page 1 of 2.
70 years ago.
Okay, and it was supplemental, okay, then they amended it, and they, made it from 50 to 1957, so they did 7-year extension. Then they go from 1957,
1968.
right. This is 11 years. Then they go from 19, now, and so they said that from this, the one from 1968, as I'm understanding it, does not expire to 2025? Cause, and that's on page 1,
Yes.
right, of the, so from 68 to 2025 is, what is that, 25, 68.
But 57 years somewhere in there.
Right, 57-year lease, which is interesting, okay. Now they wanna take it to, trying to understand this,
I'll be dead.
they wanna take it to, extend it to 2070,
2070.
with extensions, with options to extend.
Extend in between. Basically.
No,
Or purchase.
no, options to extend, if you look at page, 1 of the amendments to ground lease, they're
Oh,
gonna,
yes.
if you look at F and G, so they're gonna go to 2070, which is, 45 years? Right, from 2025, that's 45 years. Then they also option to extend for an additional 25 years. And an additional option to extend 24 more years.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 99 years plus the however many years that was before us that they've already had, which we said was a total of it started in 50. By the time it ends, 50 to 100 and something years that it will have gone on. Okay, some odd years, 107 or something. They used to pay $100 yearly rent. They're willing to increase the yearly rent to $100,000, but they say 165. With an additional increases of approximately 6% every 10-year period.
They've paid $84,000 in rent over 70 years.
To the nearest $500 increment thereafter.
Well, it's, to me, the J here, leasing is willing to increase the yearly rent to $100,000, but then like Alderwoman says, you got 165 in parentheses. So, we need to know exactly what it's gonna,
Well, here on their Exhibit D, the amendment to the ground lease said they should be paying 165 years 1 through 10, which I guess is not effective until 2025.
Right,
oh, okay.
right, so. The alderperson in me says, I wanna talk to the city councilor and the comptroller's office. I wanna understand why we are okaying this lease. I don't get this, okay?
Should be more.
This makes me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Usually I don't go after board bills, and even if I don't agree with them.
Well, I guess my thing is, what I'd like to know is what's in it for the city other than this.
Right.
Is there other things that aren't contained in this?
And what did it say about taxes? They're
Well, I'm
not,
sure
I thought
we
it's-
own the property.
Right, so they're
do
not
they-
paying
Do
taxes.
they pay taxes on the buildings? Is there,
it was something in here.
Yeah, I did see something
Yeah.
in there
Let's see,
about
let's go
that.
back and. what I learned in law school is about, there was something about you can void things because a lack of adequate consideration. This would be lack of adequate consideration to me unless there's something else that I don't know about. Purchase price, I saw something. So they have a right option to purchase, which will begin in the year 2050.
At any time during the term after, okay, yeah, 2050.
Okay, I'm still looking for the taxes. Oh, and then they say they do not record the ground lease. I don't understand why we're not recording this. It's like they don't want anybody to follow it. If you look at page 5 of the amendment, it says, number 7, memorandum of amendment to ground lease, the amendment shall not be recorded. So.
What number? Okay.
7. So usually you record so that people, if they're looking for what's going on with it, you can find it. How do you find it if it's not recorded?
It says the lessee may record it as its expense at any time after. It's
See, that's what
they
I'm saying.
may record, it's ambiguous though, isn't
It
it?
says amendment shall not be recorded, then it
Then it
goes
says
on
it
to
may
say,
record.
right, exactly, I don't understand
It's
that.
ambiguous.
Okay, let's see. General real estate taxes for the time period. Current title exceptions permitted by leasing. The Housing Conservation District in the terms of provision are same. So they're saying that they're exempted out of the Housing Conservation District? If you look at C1, Exhibit C, number 5. The more I read this, the more I'm thoroughly confused.
Yeah.
I would like to hold this and invite the comptroller's office and the, city council to come in to explain this to us, okay? I know it's already been perfected, but, there are a lot of things that I don't understand. I do real estate law, and I don't understand what they're saying here, okay? I actually, I don't like the differences in the number and the written, part, and, I just want an explanation about what this thing is really doing before we put our stamp of approval on it. So, is there anybody objecting to holding it and bringing them in?
I mean, it doesn't.
No, we don't
seem-
need a motion.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, it doesn't seem as though it's time sensitive, this isn't taking effect for
Right.
5 years, so
Right.
I mean, I'm like, yeah, I'm curious if
Do you
nothing
have
else.
opposition to it?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I mean, I like to just hear it and maybe it makes sense if you hear it, you know?
I mean, there may be things that aren't mentioned in here that we aren't seeing.
And I also wanted to make sure we get right, is it
Get
100,000,
bolded,
165?
yes, yes.
The bolding is pretty easy.
Yeah.
I wanna
But
know
I-
why,
but
I
I-
don't understand why we keep leasing this thing all this time. That's like making sure they don't have to pay real estate taxes all this time. We're complaining about the hockey team over here,
Right.
but it seems like they've been doing this for a while, okay?
Oh, since 1950.
We're just gonna hold this, and, I will talk to Alderman Vollmer so that he knows that we're not doing it, we just wanna understand
Right.
it better. We don't usually do this, but
And
this,
we have a lot of time on this too, to get it right, so.
yeah,
Well, I mean, and there's inconsistencies that if it goes like this, we're stuck
Right.
with it for 50 years, so.
Right, and I don't want somebody in the future reading, I can't believe this committee.
Yeah.
You know how people will, you know.
You guys let them walk away, you know, with all kinds of money here. And I just, I wonder how they arrived at the
I'm
lease
willing to buy
price.
the apartment complex.
Sure.
I just wanna pay $100 a month,
Oh
and,
my
and I want some
God.
real estate that I can, with that size, and I can pay $100 a month for how many, 40 or 50 years, that's pretty good. Now, I think they got it,
Well,
and they
look
built
here.
it out.
I'm looking in the city records, the Geo St. Louis, and I looked up this address. No records found.
Is that
No
right?
kidding. Wow.
I looked by that address.
There's no records?
Well, let me look one more time.
Well, we can't pass something that has no records, period.
So we also need to maybe talk to the assessor.
Yes.
5927
Suson Place.
Suson Place.
Susan, I guess.
Is that right off Hampton?
Oh, it's right
Yes.
at Hampton and Filer.
Yeah.
Right. So it's those really nice apartments right there across from,
They've been there forever. I
Right.
mean, and they, like I said, they've always been very well maintained. They, I mean, I don't know, there's probably got to be at least 500 units. in
right,
there.
right.
I mean, they're not a high rise, they're
I know,
You know,
they're
maybe
multi,
too high.
right, exactly.
2 to 3
What's
high.
the place where, we used to buy our Christmas trees when I lived in South St. Louis from the place right across the street, what's?
Bayers.
Bayers.
Right, right.
Uh,
Okay, well,
Yeah, I'd be interested in knowing the story.
so we
on
want the
this.
assessor, the comptroller, city councilor.
Mhm.
At least I'm gonna call the
Yes,
assessor, and find
that's
out why it
Well,
doesn't
maybe
show up.
The comptroller, because she probably controls this. I mean, it's probably under her.
Well, it says the comptroller and the city councilor, so I wanna, and then whoever, I guess somebody put this together at SLDC?
Doesn't
is
say,
it?
it's probably the
Doesn't-
city councilor's office.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking, city councilor's office.
Looks like.
Okay,
It doesn't say anything about it.
I'll call over there and ask.
Okay.
I'll ask them, I'm really interested when you don't find an address at 5927 Susan
I'm
Place.
looking again, just to make sure that I put everything in there right.
If you just go in that area and click on, are you under the assessors database?
I'm in Geo St. Louis, which
Okay.
tells you, I mean,
Right, let me
should
see.
tell you all about the property.
Let me see if I go into the assessors database, will I get anything,
Just to make sure I didn't have a typo in there.
So it does come out, it it comes up as an AKA 5729 filer. So it comes up in the assessor's database.
Oh, now it's coming up. 57, like you said, 57. City of
5927.
St. Louis, Gardens Apartments, Draper and Kramer, owner's name.
Right,
The owner is the City of St. Louis, but then it says Draper and Kramer Manor.
because they have a long-term lease, right.
Uh-huh.
This is a way we get to educate ourselves about some things, so this is a good thing to look at. So if we do not have any more,
Now, wait a minute, it does say taxes. It does say that they paid,
$85,000,
yeah, what a deal.
95,000,
Land value is 1 million in 2019.
but it doesn't talk, in here, I couldn't find what they were doing with taxes, that's my whole point. That should be something pretty well laid
I
out.
mean, if they're, I guess they're paying them.
Where is this? Okay,
Right,
so,
it should have it in here.
Right.
At least tell you.
But now there's two separate, tax, commercial, residential, and general information.
maybe we can also pull the
2019.
original agreements.
Yeah, the 2019, they said they paid 85, but then in a commercial residential, $1 million. So did they pay $2 million in taxes? It just it makes you wonder, you know.
Where, okay, now I'm
This is
seeing,
under the GEO,
okay,
St. Louis.
so it's showing
says-
two different kinds of taxes?
Yeah, it says general information, taxes, 2019 was 85,290.
Right.
And
Right,
then
I see
it
that.
says commercial and residential down here, $1 million.
So I wonder if they're sending them two different bills, maybe for improvements?
I don't know.
Don't
Land
know.
value is 1 million, improvement value is 14,000. Total value is 1,045,000. Interesting.
So, okay, we're gonna just hold this over and get some more information and call the people, the city council and the comptroller to come and, explain to us
how this works,
what this is what's going on with
And I'm
this,
sure this is a unique, I mean, I would expect this is a unique arrangement.
or maybe not.
Well, that would be interesting, yeah.
Maybe it's not nearly as unique as you think, we
Maybe.
just don't
Yeah,
know
we just
about it,
don't
okay?
know.
When
We don't
something's
know
been
what we
going,
don't know.
the thing when something's going on 20, 40, 50 years, that's why I don't like that, okay? And especially if you say you haven't been recording it, you don't know what's going on, makes it harder if it's not under recording. And if people are not here, that's why I don't like that 20, 50 years. You're not here, there's nobody to tell you what happened, and you're trying to piece it together.
Who really holds this? That's what's really interesting.
Okay, so we're gonna hold it. I'll call the comptroller and the city council and ask them to send people to be able to explain this to us. Is there are no resolutions?
Madam Chair, are we gonna do this next week?
Mhm.
At a regular meeting?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know
This
if
will
we
be the
wanted
first
to get to
thing.
it before.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No resolutions for review. Any committee discussion or anything else to bring up?
None.
Yes, they wasted my time with this bill.
Actually, I think that this
No,
is a good
I think
one.
we,
We're
had
gonna
a lot
learn.
of questions for Bill.
I think
Get it
we'll learn some
straightened
things. I'm always up for learning, okay?
out. Yeah.
Any announcements?
No.
I
Be
move-
interesting to know what's going on here.
Oh, I wonder if Alderman Vollmer really knows. Sometimes you're carrying a bill and then it's a little bit more complicated than you think. Okay, if we have no more announcement, I move to adjourn.
Make that so moved.
Second.
Any objections? Committee is adjourned.